y'all. Okay, I had to come in here and just really I really want to talk about Katt Williams and Wanda Smith from Frank and Wanda Morning Show. I just need to talk about this real quick, and I'm gonna find a place to park so that, lady, if you don't get your ass out the street, honey, 10 points, bitch. You fucking with me? I'm gonna come over here in the shade. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is perfect right here. All right, so real quick, because we gonna talk about this because the shit is hilarious, and we just gonna talk about it. First, Wanda, if you haven't heard, Katt Williams roasted the dog shit out of goddamn Wanda Smith from Frank and Wanda's Morning Show. If you haven't seen it, I want you to go and watch it. But what I'm about to do is we gonna break this shit down, because I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he's ragging on a black woman's weight, he ragging on her hair, he ragging on this. It was two comedians roasting each other, 1-1. Okay, the other one not so much. The other one needs to get back in her goddamn library and get her pen to the paper and get her roasting skills up. You was roasting the wrong nigga. Okay, let's talk about it. It was really Red Grant. Red Grant was, I guess he's doing something at the Atlanta Comedy Club. It's hot. Maybe I should turn the air on. Anyway, let's talk about it. So they were talking about having fun and comedy. This is Wanda said, comedy is all about having fun. I wrote all this shit down because I want to break it the fuck down so that you can see that every reaction she got from Katt Williams, it was deserved. Okay? Everything she said to him and he said back to her, it was deserved. She started every single roast. Every single roast he had of her, she started it. All right, Katt Williams, how to make good comedy specials, because he was made, you know, they talk about how he makes great comedy specials. He said he got 9 comedy specials, and he owns all the 100% rights to all his comedy specials. Okay. Charlemagne gave him Donkey of the Day. Charlemagne said that he is not the comedian with the most comedy specials. I believe that Katt Williams was referring to black comedians, because Charlemagne, compared him to George Carlin. I think George Carlin's had 13 or 14, but Katt Williams, let's make it clear, was referring to black comedians with the most stand-up specials. Okay, he's 50. He said he don't have no car lease or no loans. It's hot. I'm gonna need to turn the air on because this ain't gonna work, bitch. Let me put on my Beyonce fan. Y'all see my hair blowing? Okay, great. Okay, hot. I had to come out here and talk about it. Okay, Netflix, he says, paid him $2 million for a show that he did for $300,000. You know, he was basically flexing. And let me tell you something. If you have accomplishments and somebody starts asking you to pull your goddamn credentials, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. You can still brag on your accomplishments because you did that shit. Despite whatever hurdles and obstacles you done got through, if you have some accomplishments you're proud of, when it's time to pull that goddamn card, pull your card. P.S. Katt Williams is a Virgo. I don't know what sign, what's her name is, but baby, I don't know. Wanda, you got your ass handed to you. Wanda asked Katt Williams about his thoughts on Netflix. Netflix, he says, ain't calling nobody. So they ain't calling none of the greats. The way that they pay you is based on your draw. How much money are you pulling in on the outside determines how much we gonna pay you. So he gave an example and said that I brought in 2.4 million. He said tickets. I want to believe that he meant sales, but he kept saying tickets. Ain't no way he sold 2.4 million tickets. I would say $2.4 million in sales, and then Monique spending or getting $319,000 in sales. So that's the reason why she got offered $500,000, and he was offered his special $2.2 million. That's true, right? No disputing. This is the draw. This is how much we discussed this one with Monique. You guys can go watch my videos. I'll probably lose some subscribers because I wasn't in support of Monique and her antics, and I still watch Netflix, as you could see. All right, Netflix, Monique, get your numbers up is what he basically was saying. You need to be out on the road like everybody else, which I said before. Monique, you're not even on the circuit, so you can't even ask for what you want to ask for. That's what he's basically saying. He said, Monique, no one wants to watch Jared Carmichael. No one wants to watch L'Oreal because he's ugly. No one wants to watch Kevin Hart because he's ugly and he's not attractive. And no one wants to watch Hannibal because, and nobody, he said, these are people that are put forth by what we call the white comedians. He said Netflix ain't running nothing about comedy specials. They just basically giving people specials, but they don't have their foot in comedy. That's not their thing. Even though I have seen a lot of comedy specials on Netflix, and I think it's a great place for a comedian to go and, show their skills. You got to be out on the circuit though. Ain't nobody just calling you, giving you money because of who you think you are, because everybody think they got something good to say, and that's what he was saying. There was nothing wrong with that. Okay. L'Oreal, all of them. He said Tiffany Haddish been telling jokes since she was 16 years old. You can't name me a Tiffany Haddish joke. Is that true or false? She has to prove she can do it. She don't even have an hour stand-up. Do you think that she wrote her script for Girls Trip, or do you think she was given a script and acted it out? Let me tell you something about Tiffany Haddish. I don't find her funny. I think she's very silly, and I also think that she's playing a role of the ghetto, unassuming, unknowing, ignorant black girlfriend. I really believe that. I don't believe that Tiffany Haddish is that girl. I believe that's a role that she's playing. And basically, Katt Williams let everybody know, when did ghetto become marketable? Because everybody, and Wanda kept jumping in and saying Katt Williams said she was in the film with 3 of our greatest black actresses. Anyone could have played that role. All of the people that had read the script for that role all said that it would have been perfect for Tiffany to play it. So everybody thought it was perfect for her to play it. Nobody is arguing that. Then he keeps interrupting Wanda. Then he mentions the SNL monologue, which was her whole Tiffany Haddish's SNL appearance was trash. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 2.5. She said there was some creative differences. I'm just going off of what I saw, in my opinion, about how I felt. I thought it was trash. It was very uncomfortable. It was awkward. So he said, "What is your thought? Wanda said, "What's your thought on Girls Trip?" This nigga said, I saw the script back in 2004. And then he also said that I love Tiffany Haddish. I gave her, I guess he put her in a movie called School Dance, but I think that School Dance was directed and written by Nick Cannon. So that's something, a lot of people were in that. Kevin Hart was in it, Tiffany Haddish, Katt Williams, some other comedians were in there too. He said, he said, I know I like her, but other comedians have been passed up. Then he started naming Lunel, Melanie Camacho, Miss Laura. These are all the female comedians who really, and you know what? We can even add Samore's ass to the list, because Samore is funny as shit, and she don't have no comedy special. She ain't, she's always co-starring. She ain't been put in a whole bunch of movies. Her and Monique were in, what was that, Soul Plane? And then you rarely see Samore in a lot of movies. She been passed up too. Then he said about Tiffany Haddish, Wanda jumped in and said, they like real. And he said, real? He said, stop it. You know a co-worker who's real, your auntie, your friend, a real cousin. You know somebody who is ghetto. When did ghetto become marketable, honey? Okay. Is that a lie? What's wrong with what he said? Okay. He said that nobody was fucking with her until she married a white man. Now, I don't know that she was married to a white man. I thought the nigga was black, but then she divorced him, said he abused her, and then she came back and said something again. It is a fact that Tiffany Haddish says she embellished some of her book. Okay? All right. Then he said now they on her because she's saying she want to sleep with a white man. Has she been saying that? Okay. All right. He basically was calling her a lie from her book. And he says, I support Lunel, Melanie Camacho, all the women they skipped over. Let's not act like, and then no, Wanda said, okay, Melanie Camacho, she's funny, but she's just not there. He said, let me tell you something. Then he mentioned colorism. I'll name you any light-skinned comedian. They'll pick a light-skinned comedian over a dark-skinned one. Now, is he lying? Okay. All the dudes be dark-skinned, but the women, where are the light-skinned comedians, female comedians? Okay, all right. Then Wanda started talking about single fathers. Now, Kevin Hart came out and said something about Tiffany Haddish. She's a girl, she's working hard. Granted, she's working hard, but just because she's a black female comedian in the circuit doesn't mean that she's going to be funny to everybody or appeal to everybody. Hannibal, Jared, L'Oreal, I told y'all Kevin Hart was, after that Netflix flop, his special was a flop. After that, I said L'Oreal's up next. L'Oreal got a television show coming out, and what's her name? Just Not Hilarious. She's gonna be on that series. Didn't I tell y'all? L'Oreal was up next. I told y'all. Okay. Now let's see what else. So Wanda asked him about being a father, and you know, he's saying, I'm publicly proud that none of my children are no pictures of my children are on the internet. She asked, can you cook? So he names off this, like, you know, this recipe, or talking about his kids have different, palate choices or whatever like that, and what he can cook for and how much he could cook for something. So Frank is laughing, everybody's laughing, everybody's having a good time. Katt is being his normal self, talking like, nigga, I know I'm funny, I'm just talking and everything I say is funny, what I say is funny. So she says, name me something that you cook that they like. So he says, I'm a father of 7, this and that. So then she interrupts him. I forgot what she said, but she said, well, just answer the question. That's what she said. Just answer the question. He said, well, I was answering it when you interrupted me. This is where it starts. And she said, well, just answer. He says, I'm trying. Okay. She said, and he says, I think you like me, Wanda. I can feel it spilling over. Everybody can feel it spilling over on the airwaves. She was laughing hard as hell. Then he made a comment about her glitter lip gloss, saying that her glitter lip gloss looked like 4th of July. Her lip gloss was popping. I was like, okay, Wanda, still on him. He's still looking at her, laughing. She's laughing. How many kids do you have, Wanda? They were trying to wrap it up. How many kids do you have, Wanda? She said, I have 3 boys. He was like, are they more simple? And she was like, no, I wouldn't say that. And then he said, oh, I bet you cooked more in the beginning years than in the latter years. And this is where I think he hit a nerve with Wanda. I think, and it's funny because I feel like he hit a nerve with Wanda about if she cooks or not. But then he asked her, what is it that you, Red Grant asked her, what do you cook for your sons, your 3 sons? Oh, she got real excited and proud and shit. And she was like, I make a nice broccoli. Bitch, you mean to tell me your big, wide country ass said that broccoli was your best meal for 3 country ass Southern boys? Are you crazy? Everybody started laughing. He said, Katt Williams said, find me a recipe. Find me a recipe for broccoli and tell me you put he said, and I bet she do the corn the same way. First I put the corn in the pot, and then I put the water, and then I put some little Zatarans. They wasn't ready for that, bitch. Let me tell you something. Katt Williams was roasting her ass. Now the next joke. He said, she kept saying, whatever, hater. Then he said, I bet you good at heating stuff up. And she said, no, I'm a good cook and this and that. And then she came with a jail joke. I bet you good at telling us what goes on in jail. He says, and I get out to tell you. But the difference is, I tell you at Phillips Arena, you tell them at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, bitch. That was a roast. She asked for that. Second thing, he said, Wanda, I could tell why people like this morning show. She was like, yeah. He was like, because Frank Ski puts it down. Another dig. So she was like, get out of here. And then she said something about, is he crazy? Then she made a comment about his hair. Where am I here? Because I took their jokes down word for word because I want to show that everything Wanda said, Katt had a remark for it. You asked for every roast you set up. Every roast you set up, he came in and landed the joke on your ass, okay? So here she go. I see why people come see. Okay, then she said, because Frank Ski puts it down. She said, get out of here. Then he made a salon joke. He said, honey, this is 19 inches and it's no perm. Why don't you come and run one of your gnarled fingers through my hair and on air so you could tell a lie? She was like, no. She was like, okay, come here. He said, oh, no. That's not how this works. That's how none of this works. So then she said, he's like, okay, he's cracking jokes, calling her big, stuff like that. She says, get this inmate out of here. He said, listen, I got 19 felonies and no convictions. Prison and jail aren't the same thing, dear. But you can't talk about anybody. You over there and your cholesterol is 600. You can't talk about nobody. And then she started talking about his size, calling him little mama. He was like, you can't say nothing. Your ass is big on the radio. You running out of breath. Everything she said to him, he had a better roast for her ass. Wanda said, come get her. Called Katt Williams a woman, okay? Just because it's long hair. Said, come get her. He told her she was out of breath. Then she repeated the joke. Then she told him to calm down, which was really her getting upset. But she told him to calm down, trying to transfer that energy. He wasn't having it. He said, no. Anybody you got on 12? Then he said, you got on $12 worth of jewelry that you got that you can get from Citgo or Quick Trip with 2 packs of Newports. Honey, he was getting her ass together. Then he told her ass, what did he tell her about? That she was running out of breath, said her cholesterol was high, then asked, do the wigs. Here she go. One of our hair is moving and it's not yours. Why you talk about his hair? You wearing a wig. You can't do that. Then he was like, do the headphones and the wig come together? He said, I bet you ain't nobody running their fingers through your hair. I said, come on. Then she was like, you got all them played out clothes. He looked inside of the jacket and said, oh, this is a Versace, and honey, this is from the 2019 collection. It ain't even come out yet. Dear Versace, Wanda thinks that this is some outdated attire here. She was like, but we need to see it on some stupid ass shit. Why do we need to see that it's Versace for you to have some respect for it, ho? Honey, he was getting your ass together. She got everything. It was 2 comedians roasting each other. And if her husband did what he's alleging that he did, and he came to the club and pulled a gun out on Katt Williams for roasting his fucking wife on the air when she was roasting him, everything he said to her, he had a comment. Then she came back and tried to do another joke, and he said, you can't repeat jokes, boo. You can't repeat jokes. And at one point he said, I'm the wrong one. I am not the one to Jones on. So I guess everybody knows now, don't fuck with Katt Williams. And what he said about Tiffany Haddish ain't a lie. It's not a lie. She's not funny. She's playing a role of the ignorant black girl. One thing I do not like that Tiffany Haddish does is she gets up on these stage reading nominations and act like she can't pronounce anybody's name. That shit is ignorant, and she needs to stop playing that game, because as an actor, all you have is your fucking name. So don't you get up there and mispronounce somebody's name when that's all they have, because you wouldn't want nobody doing that to your ass. Anyways, Wanda, get your pen up, get your writing game up, and don't ever fuck with Katt motherfucking Williams. Peace out, y'all. Take care of each other.